NAMIC talks a lot about the challenges that industry and consumers face in this new era of risk. And one of those dynamics is regulatory overreach. Jimmy, when we think about the federal level, what kind of regulatory overreach are you seeing in terms of the proposals?
So a lot of what happens in Washington is almost accidental. It's members of Congress making big changes in other areas, not even contemplating the impact it could have on the state regulation of insurance. Or it can be a federal agency not understanding the business of insurance and changing rules in other areas that could have an impact on our industry. Following a crisis in the banking and securities industry, they created several new insurance offices in Washington, Federal Insurance Office and FSOC, to create nothing but duplicative oversight of the industry. And more recently, over at FHFA, Federal Housing and Finance Agency, they decided to mandate full replacement cost policies for every homeowner in America. Let me ask you the same exact question. As you think about regulatory overreach in the states where they actually have the regulatory authority over the insurance industry, we still seem to be battling too often.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's really in two big buckets, right? It's either legislative, right? We see proposals to expand regulatory authority out of some sort of perceived need to increase control over an insurance market. We've seen things in Illinois that would take what once was held up as one of the most efficient, productive regulatory systems in the country and put all these proposals in to ban underwriting factors, control, suppress rate in an artificial way. Now we're winning those debates and defeating those bills, but those proposals keep coming. And then the second bucket of regulators looking to expand their own authority, right? Like in California, they are still looking for different ways to get into the transactional level of business of an insurance company. So it's diligence out in the states and in both the legislative and the regulatory realm.
Andrew, we've been in this battle with the Department of Housing and Urban Development for about a decade now. Can you fill us in on how that's going, but more importantly, why it matters to our members?
Yeah, absolutely, Jimmy. It is hard to think about a lawsuit that lasts more than a decade. Typically not something that you look for. But in the HUD case, it's a little bit different. On its face, it may sound like a great idea. Treating people fairly sounds great. In insurance, though, rate, as we know, is based on risk, right? And so the fairest way to dispense insurance, to price insurance, is based on risk. The HUD rule would turn that on its head and essentially create a litigation trap whereby member companies are frequently sued. For a decade, NAMIC has stood in the breach and really stopped the deluge of litigation we know is coming. It matters, as I mentioned, because companies are not facing the onslaught of litigation. It's been a long battle, it's been an expensive battle, but I think one well worth fighting and one we fought well.